Europa League time. So Feyenoord Roma. Getting your thoughts on this. So Feyenoord Roma, you're gonna go bold with Feyenoord, Breton.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Feyenoord wins.
José Mourinho, bora lá, pá. José Mourinho, show up.
Sorry.
I'm gonna side with Roma though because of José Mourinho. The impact he has in the you knew. So leading up to the team, you said with an interesting story too, St. Gilloise Leverkusen. Oh my days, these two teams, they trust the youth.
I mean, yeah, it's. I love this matchup. Not just because we're FC Wonder Kid. We've talked about Leverkusen to no length, right? I mean, we've talked about Leverkusen, especially since Xabi Alonso picked up, especially since Flo Wirtz is back.
Yes,
Their defense between Kosunu and between who's the other Piero Hincapié, Tapsoba. We love them all. We love Leverkusen. I love this matchup. But I love it more because of Union Saint-Gilloise. 2 years ago, they were not even promoted into the Belgian Pro League. Okay, it has been 60 plus years since they were in any European competition.
Oh my god!
All right, and in 2 years' time, they went from being promoted to finishing second and leading the Pro League last season for like the majority of the year before they were pipped at the end. And now they have found themselves in a major Europa League quarterfinal against, one of the more fun FC Wonder Kid teams to talk about. But there's two in particular we have to watch here because this team, if you don't know it, Union Saint-Gilloise is actually owned by the same owner as Brighton. And you know that I love Brighton
Brentford,
because of their trans policy. Brighton.
Is Brighton? Oh my days,
it is
even better.
Brighton. Yeah, younger dude too, right? Younger dude. I think he even plays poker on the side or something. But listen, Brighton owning them, for me, it hits home with that transfer policy because we all know it. And one of their biggest stars right now, Simon Adingra, who just got his first call up to the Ivory Coast, to Cote d'Ivoire. Simon Adingra is a winger who has been absolutely lights out for them. And I think, Leverkusen has not necessarily been great defensively this season. You're going to see Adingra, and you're going to see 21 or 22-year-old Victor Boniface, who is a Nigerian striker, part of this ridiculous core of Nigerian strikers that just can't stop going bold this season. You are, if you do not know these two names, you are going to know these two names by the end of these fixtures.
I love it. I love how you're mentioning that. Because I've got the stats on them this season. And Boniface, Nigerian striker, 22 years old, has 19 goals scored and 7 assists. And Adingra has 12 goals and 11 assists for Royal St. Gilloise. You said a team that was not even in the first division 3 years ago. That's insane, the level of management. They're the Brighton of Belgium. Or maybe the Leicester. Maybe the Leicester of Belgium.
It could be, but listen to this. Okay, so last season, they had 50 or so goals from other places that are all gone. Denis Undav, where do you think he went? Brighton. He signed for Brighton. He actually just scored in the FA Cup, booked them a trip to Wembley. I believe they're playing Manchester United in the semifinals, who ended up beating Fulham, right? Mm-hmm. But, okay, Denis Undav left. Dante Van Zier went to New York Red Bulls in Major League Soccer. He had like 20-plus goals for them last season when they almost won the league. They got rid of him. And guess who else they got rid of? Matoma. Kaoru Matoma played for Saint-Gilloise last year on loan from Brighton and is now back at Brighton, and we know everybody knows his name now.
One of the best dribblers in the world.
Exactly. So Adingra and Boniface, I don't know how to actually say his name, but you got to watch. And Teddy Tuma is the guy that keeps it all together. Yeah. Okay, he's this Maltese midfielder. I think he's the captain for Malta. He's 29. He has been their the guy that has kept them together these last few seasons. So I love this story. As you can tell, I am prone to loving an underdog story. So Leverkusen, I'm going to have to say I'm going to root for Union Saint-Gilloise, although I think Leverkusen does definitely have the quality to get by them. I mean, Moussa Diaby is not going to go down without a fight.
That's true. Good point. And Jeremy Frimpong too, for me, one of the best wing backs in the world of football right now. I'm gonna say, and Wirtz too as a talent. But you sided with Feyenoord. I sided with Roma. I'm gonna side with Leverkusen. You're gonna side with
I'll go with my heart on this one. I'll say Union Saint-Gilloise.
Oh,
but
that'd be bold, man. Xabi Alonso, get it done. Have your you can get that done. I can get that
but like
done.
that makes way for probably the more exciting. I mean, you've got like these two fixtures are pretty good, and Manchester United versus Sevilla. This is not like Sevilla's terrible in La Liga, but Sevilla knows how to win a Europa League. So does Manchester United, but Sevilla knows how to get it done. With that said, do you see Sevilla having any sort of a shot against Manchester United?
I think they do have a shot, but I really think this game will show that Erik ten Hag is now the manager of Man United, and things are different.
Yeah.
The culture is being instilled now, and Erik ten Hag won a League Cup, and if he's going to change the culture at Man United, he's got to win this Europa League too, in my opinion. Marcus Rashford is the most informed player in Europa League right now, in my opinion, with 6 goals scored, and I don't see him stopping against Sevilla. I think he will score 2, and they will go to the semifinals, in my opinion. I side with Man United on this one.
Yeah.
I really do.
And I'm gonna join you on that because there's just too much disarray at Sevilla. It's gonna take Man United beating themselves, which has happened before, for Sevilla to come out on top in this one. So I think one of the more juicy. I mean, Sporting would have been it would have been Arsenal versus Juve, but it's Sporting Juve, and I gotta say momentum. I think you're gonna like my pick.
Well,
I think you're gonna like my pick in this one.
No, you're going for Sporting.
I think I might.
What? I know Juventus has been atrocious, but Juventus need the Europa League more than anyone because they're not getting
and that's why they're going to lose. Look,
Sporting, it's the big. We're going to remember this team with Ugarte, Pot, and we're going to most importantly remember Ruben Amorim and what he's doing. And it would be a huge statement for Ruben Amorim to go far in the Europa League. If that happens, I could see it happening, though. I could see it happening. And Diamant people, look, in the video of Sporting I mentioned, go check out on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Like, Diamant, legitimately, is one of the best young under-20 center-backs in the world right now. The game he played against Arsenal, the quality he had, the confidence he had on ball, it was special. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. Because now Sporting fans don't even think about Kovac leaving. It's Gonçalo Inácio, Diamant, and St. Just in the future. And that's, like, amazing trio of center-backs, in my opinion. So...
Yeah, and Coates did not play against Arsenal.
Not needed. He is important. He's the captain. He's the leader. Well, he's the leader. He's the voice on the pitch. But I think you need more leaders to be done. And I think long-term we have. But I like that mention. I like that mention.
And I think, when it comes down to Juve right now, they go the way Dusan Vlahovic goes.
Di Maria.
Dusan Vlahovic... and Di Maria, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Di Maria.
But Vlahovic for me has been kind of their. I mean, he's starting to heat up again, I suppose. It's whether or not Sporting doesn't have a Vlahovic. Let's just say that.
True, but true, and Chiesa too. That's another player too that I really think Chiesa back for Juventus. That's why they need a top manager. Chiesa's there. Vlahovic is there. Bremer. What a center back he is. He can do everything, Bremer.
Yes.
So they have players, Juventus. They can do a young curve for the future, but they don't have the manager. So I think if Sporting win and they go through against Juventus, I think it just pushes even more for Allegri to leave, which is something positive for next season, in my opinion. I hate Allegri ball. I'm going to say it. I think the best times of Allegri have passed. So, let's it'll be interesting. But tell us down below if you agree with our Europa League picks for these games. And, tell us yours in the comment section. And like the video if you're enjoying. Until now.